Good evening and welcome to the Stephen Knight Show. I'm your host, Stephen Knight. I hope you're having a great Monday and hopefully it'll get better for you tonight. Tonight we are continuing part 2 of our discussion, our panel discussion we had. If you remember, 2 weeks ago we welcomed men filmmakers who talked about the ins and outs of everything. Well, tonight the women, they're taking over and they're sharing their experiences. Definitely an interesting conversation. Then in Hot Topics, we're talking about everything from Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Some people thought that Nene was kind of wrong for tweeting about her husband's cancer, but Greg came to her defense. We also found out what happened to Magic Johnson's daughter, his only daughter, when she was staying at Airbnb in California. All that, and then some, I'm not excited about this, but some drama for Salim and Mara Akil. A woman is suing him for non-consensual assault and battery. All that in Hot Topics. Listen, I want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, and of course our official website, thestephennightshow.com. You can also check us out on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just go to our website, thestephennightshow.com. We'll be right back after this.
On the beat is too flexing. If you taste my banana, you not go. If you taste my banana, you not go. My baby banana, baby, you not go. My baby banana, baby, you not go. If you taste my banana, you not go. If you taste my banana, you not go. Oh my baby, my African lady, oh baby, she's my lady, my beautiful baby, oh. Oh my lady, my African baby, oh, eh. She's my lady, my friend from sweetie, oh. Sweet baby. See, I get the banana, a sweet banana. I get the banana, my big banana. You will like my banana, titi, sweetie banana. Oh my baby, fun baby, oh, eh. Oh my baby, my sweetie baby, oh, eh. Oh my baby, my fun baby, oh. So I say, I will give it to you, sucker, so. I say, sucker, I will give it to you, my sucker, so. You will take it, sucker. If you taste my banana, you not go. If you taste my banana, you not go. My baby banana, baby, you not go. My baby banana, baby, you not go. Oh, my ticket. Oh, my jula, oh, wait, oh, my calebio. Najula, yeah, you know, up my calebio. You know that the mono, Najula, up my molejo. Why, my calebio? Why, you modelemo? I think you're the man who modelemo, Bamo calebio. You modelemo, Bamo calebio. Oh, my baby, my African lady, oh baby, she's my lady, my beautiful baby, oh, eh. Oh my lady, my African baby, oh, eh. Baby, she's my lady, my friend from sweetie, oh, sweet baby. See, I get the banana, a sweet banana. I get the banana, my big banana. You will like my banana, titi, sweetie banana. Oh my baby, fun baby, oh, eh. Yeah, you wale, mama wale, yeah, you wale, you know that I'm your male, yeah, you wale, no, you wale, yeah, you wale, male, if you taste my banana, you not go. If you taste my banana, you not go. My baby banana, baby, you not go. My baby banana, baby, you not go. On the beat is too flexing.
Don't make me wait, no, don't be afraid, no. I'm a big boy, squeeze. Ain't nothing like baking hotcakes and eggs. Oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get up there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. Give you my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Rolling and growing, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast in bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast. Some call me loco, but I need it all so bad. When you give it early in the morning, got me twitching. Eyes roll back when I'm staring at the ceiling. Girl, you and I. How many licks just to get to your center? When I beat that batter, girl, I'ma fry them cakes with a cast iron skillet. You wake up. Oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get up there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. Give my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Rolling and growing, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast in bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast in bed. Baby, I could go hard like this all day. It feels so good when we shake and bake. When you curl your toes and you grab my hand, this is the sound when we making man. You wake up. Oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. I'ma give you my love. We gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get up there. Oh, you can't get away, get away. Give my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. And growing, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast in bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast in bed. Rolling and growing, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast in bed. Squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the moment. I got to have breakfast in bed.
Hey, yo, peace world. It's the Love King of R&B, Raheem Devon, and you're listening to the Stephen Knight Show. Keep it locked right here. Love life.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Miss Parker, how's it going?
Happy Monday. How are you guys doing?
I cannot complain. How was your weekend? You were in LA this weekend. How was that?
Yeah, I was in California for our corporate Christmas party and ended up spending some time with my dad and some family and friends. So had an amazing weekend. It was really good. The party was great. It was in Newport Beach.
Okay.
If you know anything about Newport Beach, it's really the wealthy area, Huntington Beach, Laguna area. So it was on a yacht. It was really nice.
Nice.
It went all out. We had a great time.
You look nice. I saw the pictures. You look really nice.
Yeah, she looks real good.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I had to show out a little bit. It was on a yacht. So.
I saw you. You won't play with her, huh?
Exactly.
My weekend was kind of low-key. I didn't really do too much, but this weekend I have stuff going on, so I didn't mind it at all. How was your weekend, Chica?
I worked. I was on set filming, and we wrapped 2:30 last night, and I basically kind of left the set and then went to work, kind of,
Okay.
sort of. So yeah, that's the hustle I'm on.
I hear that. Well, I want to make an announcement. We've been talking about our the Stephen Knight Show Christmas Kindness giveaway. If you go on our Facebook, we have a foundation page or whatever it's called. Is it called a foundation? There's a page on there. You can go to my page or the Stephen Knight Show page for a link. We can go to our website. Pretty much what we're doing. Go ahead, Ms. Parker.
It's called a fundraising page.
Fundraising page. That's what it is. Thank you. So what we're doing, well, you want to talk about, Ms. Parker?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, back in 2011, our first season, we started the Stephen Knight Show Christmas Kindness giveaway. And over the years, we've given to families, Angel Tree Network, different charities and organizations. And a lot of because you all's help. You all donate your money, and you allow us to be able to do these type of things. We definitely appreciate you. Well, this year we're raising money to create care packages that we'll donate to the homeless community here in Atlanta. So we're going to pass out the care packages on Saturday, December 15th, and we encourage all of our listeners that are local to come out and volunteer. Now, if you're not local and unavailable, we still encourage you to donate to this important cause. Every donation, big or small, is definitely welcome and appreciated. And we would like to have all donations in by December 12th. So you can either send us your donations via our PayPal account, which is thestephennightshow@gmail.com, or you can go to our fundraiser page or our website, thestephennightshow.com, to donate directly through there. We definitely appreciate you and look forward to this event on December 15th. And we will be posting pictures and everything so you can see the fruits of your labor. So we thank you in advance. Also, the Stephen Knight Show t-shirts, these things are selling out. I'm having to order them left and right, but they're selling out. If you want to get a t-shirt, go to our website, thestephennightshow.com. There's a link, and you can click on it and see the shirts, the different sizes, and order there. All right. So, you ready to get into these hot topics?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, Housewives of Atlanta. I know, Chica, it's your favorite thing to talk about. You too, Ms. Parker. Well, so yesterday, it was revealed. So, Candy and Portia have had this kind of feud over the years. But now the feud's trying to kind of turn into Portia against Nene. So, pretty much Candy, Cynthia, Marlo, and Nene had a lunch. And Candy was telling the ladies about what she knows about Portia's fiance, that he pretty much falls in love fast, tattoos the women's names on his bodies, buys them Rolex watches, and then, that's his thing. He has gotten a tattoo of Portia. She announced on the show last night. Well, anyway, so she said that she didn't think it was for her to go to Portia and tell her because, they're rebuilding their friendship. And Nene agreed, that she shouldn't. All the women pretty much agreed that, coming from you, it might sound like you're being shady, da-da-da-da. So they all decided not to tell her, not to tell Portia. Well, Candy hears through the grapevine that Portia knows and is mad at Candy. And so she assumes it's Nene who told because they're the closest out of the group. The other women are not as close with Portia, so she didn't think she would tell. So they had another lunch, and Candy kind of confronted Portia and was like, this is what happened. I didn't want to say anything, whatever. And Portia's whole thing is you shouldn't be going around talking about my man. You hate it when people talk about Todd. And Nene denied saying that she told Portia. Portia said that Nene told her, and Portia saying it's the editing, the way it may have been edited. Right after Nene denied it, Portia said Nene came to her and said she probably didn't want to tell you because of you all's relationship. So the fans are reacting on social media, of course, and saying that they think that Nene told and Nene's shady for telling, da-da-da-da-da. So that's that. Well, another thing that happened, and I didn't see this on the show, but I was reading about it today. So Nene tweeted, Greg, he's battling cancer. She tweeted, hold on, I'm sorry. Let me get the tweet right. She said, I would just think if I have or had cancer, I would see life so differently, not being mean, grouchy, and evil for no reason. But that's me. Prayer for me. And so, of course, people are saying that Nene kind of went hard on Greg. He having cancer. You shouldn't be putting that out there. But Greg came to her defense, posted on Instagram a picture of her, and he said, I never even thought about someday we might be in this position, but we're here in the struggle of my life. Damn. This woman right here has put a mountain on her back and carried it with grace. She's given so much of herself. You, Nene, steps up to the plate, bats, and knocks it out the park every time. Something a lot of women can't do or wouldn't. So what, she hit a wall and her cup run over. Pray for her, encourage her, lift her up. What good is tearing down going to do? I'm not bed-stricken. I'm not dying of cancer. I'm kicking cancer's ass. So, one, do you think that, what do you think about the whole Portia, Nene, Candy situation? And do you think Nene was wrong for expressing her frustration with Greg on social media?
Yeah, but I think sometimes we just don't have the right tools or avenues to deal with our emotions, and being caretaker of someone who is sick is very emotionally and mentally draining.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have the right support, and sometimes you do need an outlet. So I think it was one of those situations where she may not have had an appropriate outlet, and so I just think people just need to leave her alone. Just let her vent if she needs to. Yeah. I think social media, and I don't understand why these celebrities keep their comments on.
Yeah, you said that.
You don't need to have these people giving you their feedback on what they think about what's going on in your lives. So I do feel bad for her. I'm sure it's not an easy situation, and so she probably just needed an outlet. Now, regarding the whole Candy and Portia thing, I don't know. They're just too old. They all need to grow up.
Right.
But they are right. I mean, she wouldn't have been. She wasn't happy when people were in her business or her relationship with Ty. I think the best thing to do is probably just stay out of other people's at this point.
Mm-hmm. Chike?
I'm in agreement. Everybody should mind their business.
Yeah.
I do agree with Nene that maybe that with Ms. Parker or Nene, as it relates to her being stressed out and a little overwhelmed with her life situation right now. All the more reason why you shouldn't be in somebody else's business, telling their business when you should be tending to your own, because you got a lot going on in your own house.
Mm-hmm.
However, with that being said, I think maybe she should see someone. Maybe go see Ayanna. She's fixing lives. Go talk to her.
Right. Yeah.
And on another note, let's keep it all the way 100. These women are making money off of their lives and their business. So them putting stuff out there is feeding, the pocket.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's like Candy's trying to make this her storyline, because she keeps saying she's not going to bring it up, Even when she brought it up to her assistant, Don Juan, he was looking like, why are we talking about this? I mean, you know what I mean? And so Eva was on Watch What Happens, and she thinks that Candy's being kind of messy with this whole situation. But also with Nene, I can only imagine being a caregiver to someone, and watching them health kind of fail or dealing with it. So she probably, like Ms. Parker said, vented. But Greg knows what's going on. He knows that she's been there for him, and so I think that's all that matters.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So Salim Akil and Mara Akil, they're the creators. They have Black Lightning on. They have Love Is on OWN. Well,
yeah.
So Salim is being sued by a woman named Amber Dixon Brenner, who says that they've had an affair for over a decade up until last year. She's suing him for non-consensual assault and battery. So she's saying that, and she's also saying that he stole one of her scripts, or kind of breached the contract, and used some of the storylines, kind of rewrote it, used some of the storylines from something she wrote in 2016 about an abusive relationship on Love Is. So she's saying that she wants compensation. She wants she's suing for emotional distress, attorney fees, and punitive damages. She's also suing the Akil's and Oprah's own network for federal court for copyright infringement. Now, Akil's attorney, Stephen Barnes, released a statement saying that these allegations are deeply upsetting, but they are also totally untrue. We will defend Salim to the fullest against the false and offensive claims that a woman with whom he had a past relationship has included in the multiple unsubstantial lawsuits. Salim looks forward to clearing his name and being able to focus on his work and his family. Now, the CW, which Black Lightning's on, and OWN have not released any statements. But Warner Brothers is doing an investigation on Salim Emmar's CW show, Black Lightning. What are your thoughts?
That sounds like a whole lot of mess. So a woman he had an affair with is now saying that it wasn't consensual. It's a lot. I mean, I hope hopefully they can work it out in court and everybody. It's just, I mean, it's not something that I can comment on because, the details are not something that we're privileged to. So, I think that the courts just have to work it out and hopefully everything works out. I don't know.
Yeah, she said said he slapped her, strangled her, forced her to do oral sex, and even urinated in her mouth.
So does she have police reports?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know.
To me, it's like a lover's scorn. I mean, it seems like, if they did have an affair, I don't know. Like you said, we still have to see how it plays out. But it seems like, why are you coming out with all this now? You know what I mean? I mean, it was last year, but still, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Chica?
I mean, I kind of think the same thing. Sounds like, something didn't go someone's way and someone got upset.
Yeah.
But, in this whole creating and writing and, producing, the things that they produced, if she did write something and you did copyright it, then the proof is in the paper.
Yeah.
And the proof is in ink. So if that's the case, then it should easily be proven. But if it's something intellectual, like something that maybe they shared in Pillow Talks, and he happened to take it and run with it, and he had the vehicle and the means to do it, there's nothing you can do about that.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to come out and say, she's lying and all that stuff, because when someone is doing those type of allegations, it needs to be investigated by appropriate authority.
Absolutely.
So I definitely don't want to go there, but I think that if it is a lover scoring situation, I'm hoping that the police and the investigators and people who are involved are able to look into that and somehow be able to figure it out and clear his name so he and his family can move on, and move on without the cloud over his head. But if it is some truth to it, and obviously I want the proper authority to be involved as well. So we just have to watch it. Let them see what happens. Let them do their job and see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
The only, I'm sorry, can I butt back in for a second? The only reason that I think that is because the Akil's brand now that they're on OWN, their brand is love, and their brand is their union and their marriage. That's their brand. Mm-hmm. So if it was really honestly and truly just about the art and the literature, then it would just be about that. But the whole other component of it, the affair and the violence and the attack, all that stuff comes in because now it attacks integrity. So I didn't see the point. If it was about the art and the lawsuit, why bring the other stuff into it?
Yeah. Well, I guess to make the case stronger. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens with this. All right, so something crazy happened. Imagine Cookie Johnson's only daughter, Elise. She was staying in an Airbnb with 10 friends in San Fernando Valley. Is that how you pronounce it? Over the weekend. And 2 men invaded the home, taking $3,000 worth of jewelry and other belongings. TMZ said that Elisa Johnson was at her home with the friends that they rented Sunday morning when 2 men were able to enter, according to police sources, began threatening 10 people that were staying there. Well, Lisa, even the scary situation, she was able to escape the home. She ran to the back and was able to escape out the house, the bedroom. The suspects reportedly cleaned out the home, fled the scene before the police could arrive, but they walked away with Rolex, jewelry, cash, and electronics. None of the victims suffered any injuries, and Elisa is reportedly doing okay. Does that make you look at Airbnb sideways now?
I've always looked at Airbnb sideways.
I think things can happen anywhere, anytime.
These days, anyway.
We just can't live our lives in fear. Things are always going to happen. There's always going to be crime. There's always going to be everything. There's nothing that is safe and soundproof. It is unfortunate that people will take advantage of situations like that to take things from people that they haven't earned and steal and rob and buggerize people. But I think that the message should not be, okay, don't use Airbnb now because it's just I don't know. It's just not a message that I think is appropriate for this situation. I think what's appropriate should be you as an individual should be responsible enough for your own life where you're not stealing from people.
Right. Yeah.
And having to rob people.
Yeah.
But it is unfortunate. I feel really bad, that it happened. But this has happened in hotels. People have been robbed in hotels.
Kim Kardashian
lose their items in hotels than in Airbnbs. So no, I think most Airbnbs for the most part are safe. I think people mean well by it. I think people who are renting it are people who want their guests to be safe. And so I'm glad that she's okay and that they were able to get away, with their lives and what really matters. Because $3,000 worth of jewelry for them is, petty change.
30.
So, 30,000. Okay.
But even still, like you said, the Johnsons.
Yeah. What really matters is that that they're safe.
Yeah. Well, I happen to love Airbnb, by the way. I stay there every time. Well, most times I travel. So
I love Airbnb.
I'll still be staying there. Well, sad news. This is our last topic. Former President George H.W. Bush passed away over the weekend. And a lot of people are saying it speaks to his character, the fact that he invited, because he actually planned a lot of his funeral, before he passed, even though some of the people he wanted to speak there or to attend have passed since then, but they made it important that he planned his funeral. But he also invited Trump, and that his family does not get along with Trump, but they say he believes in the office, the president office, and he knows that it's tradition that the living president comes to any former president who passed away's funeral. He won't be speaking, however, but him and his wife are attending to attend, as well as with the Clintons and the Obamas, all the living presidents and the Carters. And, he hasn't spoken to the Obamas or the Clintons since he got in office. So people are curious to see how that's going to play out. Do you have any thoughts on his passing?
My condolences to him and his family.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, a lot of people said that people thought he was underrated because he was only a one-term president, but they also talked about all the wonderful things that happened while he was in office, like, then the apartheid with Mandela being freed and all that. But yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with the Bush family, and yeah.
I wanted to mention something really quickly though with the View today. I just saw the clip of Megan and Joy.
Joy went off.
Having an argument about it. Yeah, I haven't been able to catch up on it. Like I got back this morning and trying to catch up with sleep and everything else.
Right.
But I saw the clip and it seemed like Joy was expressing herself.
Yeah.
That most of the policy that he implemented during his term regarding the environment, which Joy is very passionate about.
Right.
That President Trump is now trying to reverse those policies.
Yeah.
And then Megan just went off. She's like,
Right.
I don't want to talk about Trump.
How you gonna tell a grown person what they can't talk about? That's what I didn't understand. Joy looked pissed. Usually she jokes a lot, but she looked really pissed with that. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for Hot Topics, and Ms. Parker, have a great week. Chike, I'll see you in movie reviews.
Yes, sir.
All right, right back after this.
She likes to read books on philosophy. She only eats at small cafes. She questions every single part of me. She makes me better every day. It's not the way she styles her hair or the designer clothes she wears. Her silhouette's one of a kind, but most of all, she's got a beautiful mind. She's got a beautiful mind. She's got a beautiful mind. So many girls I see are wild and lovable, but I'm looking for my queen, my Claire Huxtable. The black American dream, it sounds so wonderful. The only thing I need, my Claire Huxtable. My Claire, Claire, my Claire Huxtable. My Claire, Claire, my Claire Huxtable. We'll be in a brownstone and BK, listen to Stevie and Coltrane. I know that she out there for me. Oh yeah, have us a few kids one day, a couple of Lisa, a Bonays. I know that she out there for me. Oh yeah, so many girls I see are wild and lovable, but I'm looking for my queen, my Claire Huxtable. American dream sounds so wonderful. Only thing I need, my Claire Huxtable. My Claire, Claire, 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 my Claire Huxtable. In a brownstone and BK, listen to Stevie and Coltrane. I know that she out there for me. Claire Huxtable. Have us a few kids one day, a couple of Lisa, a Bonays. I know that she out there for me. Claire Huxtable. So many girls I see are wild and lovable, but I'm looking for my queen, my Claire Huxtable. Black American dream sounds so wonderful. Only thing I need, my Claire Huxtable. Another one, bro. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. Slight work, slight work. Slight work, slight work, slight work. I'ma get right, bro. Millie Rock, Millie Rock.
All I know is niggas gon' hate. All I know is fuck you.
Millie Rock, Millie Rock.
All I know is money make the world go. All I know is that the money won't change me. All I know is niggas gon' hate. All I know is fuck you. All I know is money make the world go. All I know is that the money won't change me. All I know is that the money won't change me. All I know is that the money won't change me. All I know is that the money won't change me.
money, yeah, I'm living great. If it ain't about money, niggas gotta wait. Bezel say he wears great. Driving foreign to the 8, ain't a riddle, but it got New York plates. And these bitches don't love you, they around cause the money. Only chasing money, honey. Change my ways, now y'all call me funny. But boy, yeah, I'm really hungry. Head high when it get ugly, I want my music through the country. So y'all could really hate. Bitches state to state, girl, we don't really date. I just let y'all niggas hate. I'm me and Najee at the gate. Big cuz home, man, I couldn't wait. Big bucks, Jigga Joe. All I know, never love a hoe. All I know, move differently. All I know, get this gritty. Niggas know me. All I know is told through my fucking city.
All I know is niggas gon' hate.
Lil Dude.
All I know is fuck you, pay me.
Fuck you.
All I know is money make the world go.
Make it go.
All I know is that the money won't change me.
Change me.
All I know is niggas gon' hate.
They gon' hate.
All I know is fuck you, pay me.
Fuck you.
All I know is money make the world go.
Make it go.
All I know is that the money won't change me.
Millie Rock, Millie Rock, Millie Rock, whoa.
All I know is that the money won't change me.
Hit the Millie Rock, hit the Millie Rock.
All I know is that the money won't change me.
All I know, I gotta talk my shit. Freeze Ray on my neck. Designer outfit, only rock valid shit. Only whip valid whip. Shorty, I ain't coming through if it ain't a valid trip. Yeah, I let them 32s, 15, valid shit. Drill time, had it lit. Fuck your bitch, I got a split. Yeah, she give me top, but I don't lick the clip. I chase all the money, can't wait to be rich. Niggas, they be switching. Haters better listen. Get off my dick, I only got money vision. Niggas not in my division, my attention will be given. I know y'all hate how I'm living well. Lil Dude, cuz all I know is niggas gon' hate. All I know is fuck you, pay me. All I know is money make the world go. All I know is that the money won't change me. All I know is niggas gon' hate. All I know is fuck you, pay me. All I know is money make the world go, make it go. All I know is that the money won't change me. All I know is that the money won't change me. Won't change me. Won't change me.
All right, what's going on, y'all? This is Ricardo Grim Haunt in the airways. Right now, you listening to the Stephen Knight Show. Hey, don't go to sleep without saying your prayer.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Now, a few weeks ago, we began this two-part discussion about the ins and outs of filmmaking. If you remember, in part one, we welcome a panel of men. Well, tonight it's all about the ladies and their perspectives. So first, I'm going to start by introducing our panelists. And ladies, I want you to all answer for me one question. What's your favorite movie and why? I know it's going to be a little difficult, but let's see what we can come up with. We'll start off with Tiffany Yancey. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Dick. I had to go first, right?
You had to go first, right? What's your favorite?
Thank you so much for having me back on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
My favorite, I would say, well, one of my favorite movies, the 90s classic, is I Love Boomerang.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love that because I'm a rom-com type of chick. That's that's the industry, the genre that I write and produce. And when I saw that film in the 90s, I was like, oh, that is like the life that I want to live. Like, I want to be Robin Givens. Yeah. So, and I love how that perspective and the flip with the dog. I mean, it was just, I just love the movie. So that was, so that's, and it was funny. It was a funny love story. So, yeah, Boomerang.
All right. And next up, Lania Love. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much for having me back.
We appreciate
ladies.
you.
Hello, gentlemen. I'm a come up a little bit to the present in regards to a favorite movie. I have a whole bunch of old movies that I love, but a new favorite of mine that actually Chike and I went to go check out, Bohemian Rhapsody, the story of Queen and Freddie Mercury, which was awesome. The cinematography was awesome.
Nice.
The actors were awesome. Like, when I told you they picked the right people for that, and like, it was amazing. The guy who played Freddie Mercury, like, I so enjoyed it. And the recreation of when they did the Live Aid concert was just spectacular. So that's my movie.
All right.
Oh, wow. See that.
Okay. Then we have Isabel Montello. Is that correct? That's it, correct?
That's
Montello.
correct.
Okay. welcome to the show. Welcome your first time on here. What would be your favorite movie?
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be with this talented panel you've got going on here.
I appreciate you.
Thanks. Well, my favorite is the first foreign film to win an Oscar for Best Picture category.
Okay.
Which is Life is Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, and the reason I chose that is because, I write comedy, but to make a comedy from something so horrific as the Holocaust is just, to me, just brilliant. I was like, laughing and crying literally at the same time.
Wow.
So, like, in 1 minute I was crying, 1 minute I was cracking up, and no film has ever done that. I mean, I've been laughing but not crying, you know what I mean? Or I've been crying and not laughing. So just to me, and to me that's the quintessential, when you can make someone provoke an audience to do those things all in one movie, and
exactly.
and tap into history too, the tragedy of the Holocaust and all. So I thought, Roberto Benigni did such a great job of directing and acting, and he won the Best Actor that year too. So that's my favorite movie.
Nice. Okay. And we have Sherelle Hogan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate you. What would say your favorite movie is?
Good company with the ladies.
Yes.
Oh, so I guess I'm a little different. I'm gonna go all the way left.
Okay.
One of my favorite movies that I can pop in anytime was actually two, and they both happen to be musicals. Is Chicago. Is my all-time favorite, and then the follow-up is Burlesque.
Okay.
Only because it just mixes so creative. I love being a creative and not just sticking with, the same template, but being able to tell a story through music and acting, and it captivates you and you don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
So I just love those movies because, it's the story's just told through songs, and then it's told through regular acting, and it was just very creative. So I love both of those movies.
Nice picks. All right, and then last but definitely not least, Rebecca Pierce. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
To be here.
Well, I appreciate you.
I'm sitting here like listening to everybody's answers, and I'm like racking my brain, going, "Oh my God, I don't ask this one." That's a hard question. Okay,
yeah.
So I'm gonna go even further back, and I have two old classics: Arsenic and Old Lace. Cary Grant, and Imitation of Life. And then, of course, I'm an 80s baby, so it has to be 16 Candles.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, 16 Candles. Those films are, I could watch those
Pretty
films.
in Pink, 16 Candles.
Oh, my God, The Breakfast Club. I mean,
The Breakfast Club.
I could watch those movies all day long. Yeah, Fate of Fire, The Outsiders.
Nice.
So I love great storytelling, and like Arsenic and Old Lace with Cary Grant, Gary Cooper. Cary Grant. I always get the names mixed up. It's just, great writing, fantastic acting, and just delivery, and of course, Imitation of Life. I'm talking about, of course, about the 1958 version. Just great storytelling, and that's what I'm a fan of. Great storytelling. So.
Nice. Well, thank you, ladies, for all being here tonight. We definitely appreciate you taking time out your schedule. Filmmakers are very busy people, so thank you.
No problem. Yeah, no problem.
Now we have our very own Chike Evans on tonight as well. Chike, you said and participated in our first part of our discussion when we had the gentleman on. How do you think it'll be a little different tonight from the ladies' perspective? I know you know most of them.
I don't know. This was kind of part of the reason that I wanted to do this, because I wanted to see what the difference would be myself. So I'm a little curious.
Okay. Well,
this is like an experiment. Sorry.
It is. No, it is.
So you're saying we're lab rats?
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, one thing Chike has always said, and I asked the gentleman this a couple weeks ago, is that he said over the years that he finds that a lot of times indie films are more, especially new indie films, are more entertaining and more in depth than a lot of majors, because they're not having to go back to the powers that be, walk all this red tape. And step in as you want to. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that is the case in many cases for indie films?
I mean, yeah, me, I do. I
Okay.
do. I feel when you're indie filmmaking, you don't have to answer to anyone. You get to make the movie you want to make.
Right.
I mean, it's just harder because you have less money, but you definitely get to. I'm working now on. I'm in pre-production right now. I'm producing a supernatural dark comedy called Death of a Fool. We start shooting on Monday in Miami. So
Nice.
I'm having a ball, and the writer's the director, and he's also the EP, and he's but we didn't have to change anything.
Yeah.
We only changed stuff that he wanted to change at the end of the day because he didn't think it worked, blah blah blah. But yeah, you definitely have more flexibility, and good and bad. You don't have to worry about having the star names and the star power. I mean, it's good to have star power because then you know that you're going to definitely sell the movie. But we have the local stars. We have a lot of Latino stars because he's Cuban, I'm Cuban, and so we have a lot of local Latino stars from Miami. And so we're really, really excited because now we're exposing the American audiences this whole Latino cast that people don't see, often. So it's really exciting. I do think we have a lot. I mean, what Hollywood movie would make an all Latino cast? It just wouldn't happen.
That's true. That's very true. Very true.
Yeah. So we're doing that. So I'm really excited about it. And just so you know, girl power thing behind the scenes, 50%. And part of this is because of me, and part of this is because the director is just awesome. He's a 30-year-old young guy, just super open. 50% of the cast and crew is female. So
Nice.
I'm very excited about that.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
To piggyback on what Jezebel just said, even though we don't have the funds, and this is Linnea Love, even though we don't have the funds to bring in what they would consider A-list celebrity, when people come on to a project, especially an independent film project, all of them are celebrities because they're investing their time, because we're 9 times out of 10 unable to pay them because we are independent. We have to channel that money into other areas. So we have to, it's like you have to compromise in certain areas when it comes to doing certain things. And I know that not only from dealing in other people's projects, but with my own project, and finally being able to say to myself, I'm not waiting on somebody to give me anything. I've been rejected from here to Mount Rushmore. And I said, you know what? The way that I want to see myself in the roles that I know I'm capable of playing, I'm going to create that. And that's what I did with my film Providence. And I am the EP, I'm the star of it, and I came out my pocket 100%. My director is awesome, my cinematographer is awesome, and everybody that helped me put that together is awesome. And we worked hard. And I mean, I had more hats than that, because we didn't have a full crew. I was my caterer. I did our craft services. I cooked every weekend for my cast and my crew. I made sure that they ate. I made sure that if somebody needed a couple dollars, I got you for your travel, depending on where you came from. But at the end of the day, I don't want to waste nobody's time. So everybody is a star, and you will get treated the way that you would expect to get treated on a high-top motion picture that's being able to pay you. But I'm going to act like I'm with Warner Brothers or Paramount.
That's right.
Because I'm going to make you feel like you are that. So that's my tidbit on that.
I completely agree.
I definitely had to pick back on that. This is Tiffany Yancey, and like I said, well, 2 people worked with me on my first project, Love 'Em or Leave 'Em. Miss Linnea Love, that played my ride or die chick in there, and Mr. TK Evans. And I definitely say being an independent filmmaker gives you a sense of just freedom to create your vision, the idea that you have. My film is a rom-com that definitely pushes the envelope. It's about a woman who meets a guy that has a little penis. Now, what movie that, out here, I'm just saying, like, I had the idea, and
you should have talked about that during Gentleman's Hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
Oh, Lord.
Have a small penis. What's it like?
I didn't crush their ego, but I'm just saying, writing film from a woman's perspective is my passion and my purpose. because we don't. If no one can, if we can't tell our stories, who can? You know what I mean? And these are things that I talk about with my girlfriend, and from a funny perspective. So when I had the idea, I said I'm going to do it, and like Linnea said, I'm the writer, producer, star, caterer. I mean, any and everything. You wear so many hats because this is your passion, your project, your love. And if you're not in this thing because you love it, then you don't need to be doing it. And because it's so much work, but the result is definitely worth it. So, and from me doing that project, I didn't know how to write a screenplay. I didn't know how to do form. I didn't know anything. But I just wrote it, and we just did it. And we put it together, and it won. And I was just like, okay, you know what, Tiff? We can do this. And so now it inspired me to keep writing, taking more classes, because I want to tell, stories from a woman's perspective that no one else can tell. You know what I mean? So it definitely gives you a sense of freedom. And it's like I said, it's a lot of work, but there's a lot of reward in it too. So
that's right.
I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for all the people who, like I said, Linnea and Chike. I gave the script. It was like, okay, let's go, let's make it happen. So, I mean, when you have, like I said, it's not just about yourself, it's about the people surrounding you.
That's
and
right.
doing it as a collective, as an ensemble. It's just like you sharing, all the rewards with, with the people who help you build it. So
most definitely.
Right.
Let me ask a question. I know that with the gentleman we talked about budgets, and we know independent films, sometimes the challenges are coming up with the budgets or working around that. How has technology allowed you to be able to make these projects and not necessarily need the big budget that you maybe needed previously?
I think, well, this is Tiffany again. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. I think with the technology, with the platform that we have, like with YouTube and Facebook, we have, nowadays you don't necessarily have to go to Hollywood. Hollywood is in at your fingertips. Is where you started. And the main thing nowadays is about building a following. You know what I mean? That's pretty much how Issa Rae got to where she is. She started, like I said, just building with people around her and created a show on YouTube and has built a following of subscribers. And from there, she got noticed. And she got funding and things of that sort. So a lot of times, if there's a will, there's a way. You have to think outside the box.
Sure.
Nowadays going to Hollywood, you have to just think, there's a different route for me. And you just have to use it to your advantage.
In that aspect, Tiffany, you've got the way you really save money and the way technology's changed filmmaking is in marketing. So now you use, like you said, you use YouTube, you use all these social media platforms for marketing. So they're free. You can put together a quick trailer. If you have to, if you're desperate, you use iMovie, you put it together, and you've got all these marketing tools that you never had before. That you literally had to put an ad in the paper, and you had to, who can afford a commercial? You know what I mean? So that, as far as marketing, it's like, besides, needing to come up with money for festivals and, which is part of marketing, that part has really saved indie filmmaking a lot of money. Because even back in the day when they were still making independent films on 16 millimeter, 8 millimeter, there was no way to market. Like, nobody saw it. Nobody knew what was happening. Nobody saw it. But now we have all these platforms where we can just say, this is what's happening. This is what we're showing you. Here's a clip. So it's really good when it comes to marketing.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And just as when you say marketing, that is the main thing that I have learned in this journey of filmmaking is marketing.
Yeah.
Is key. Because at the end of the day, we're creating a product
That's
to
right.
sell.
That's
and
right.
if you don't have a following, if you don't have an audience who wants to see that product, it just gives, I mean, it's great to go to film festivals and things of that sort, but then after that, then what?
That's right.
So what I've learned, and anybody I would tell moving forward, start up marketing. Like what I'm doing now, my next series I'm working on now is called The Introvert Life. And I started an IG page, just posting funny memes about being an introvert and building up my audience. And I'm slowly now going to monetize that. So I'm going to use that as a way to bring in income. So then when it's time for me to shoot my pilot, I have money and I have an audience who's ready to see something that is a niche market. So that's what I would tell any filmmaker. This is what I've learned personally. Okay, start with, like I said, marketing, find a niche. Whatever your film is about, find that niche and start marketing now. Create a blog, do an IG page, and just start building up that interest. So when it's time to drop that trailer or time to drop that pilot episode, you already have people who are already interested in it.
Yeah. That's right.
So
that's right.
Is key. It's like this is a business, and it's like I said, we're creatives. We're creatives, but
we're selling a product.
Business. Yeah, we're selling this is a film business, and I've learned this is a business, and you have to learn how to make money and be smart. So you have to learn, all aspects of it. So
most definitely.
For that being said, that's just what I've learned so far, and I would tell that to any filmmaker, starting out doing this.
Most definitely. And I know that, Isabel, you talked about the fact that your new film you're working on has a predominantly Latino cast. And, we saw a movie like Black Panther. We saw Crazy Rich Asians. And it kind of broke that myth that people of color don't bring people to movie theaters because of the numbers.
That's right.
That's right. How important are movies like that, even though they're not indie, but the fact that they brought out just a diverse group of people, how important is it to today and where we are in this era?
Well, I mean, for me, it's important because I want to see me and my surroundings and my, my background and my life on the screen, and whenever that doesn't happen, it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, it is.
So, so you got to be a producer and you got to be a writer, and, I'm a writer too, and you got to write the story, write your own story, write what you want to see. And it's super important because there's always somebody out there that sees it and goes, oh my God, thank God they did this. I'm telling you, there's always an audience for everything. There just is. And so we have to put it out there and, like, build it, they will come. The famous saying from, what's that movie with Kevin Costner? Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. If you build it, I'm telling you, the audiences will come. And that's why, even though those movies are big budget, it doesn't matter. The point is still that the audiences will come. It's not available. You got to give people a chance. That's why I really believe in it. That's why we all, as women, as Latinos, as African American, we have to get into that idea that we have to just do it and put it out there, and we have to, be confident in that people will come and see it. I'm confident.
Most definitely.
There is a lane. There is a lane for everybody. This is what there is a lane for everybody, and everybody is different in the sense of what they create. But there's a lane, and there are people who want to see what you're doing, and they're interested in what you're doing and putting it out there. And because things like Black Panther and actually with Casanova Brown, because it was the LGBT, like things like that. When you're seeing things like that, when you get to see those things and people portraying what would be real life situations, you can relate. Because it's not contrived, and it's not fake, and you're not telling me. You can't tell me as a woman of color if you are. I'm just going to use this as an example. A white person, you can't tell my story the way that I tell my story.
That's right. That's exactly it.
You can't do that for me. I can only tell my story because I've lived it. I've lived in this skin. I continue to live in this skin. So you can't tell my story. And unfortunately, for people of color, they do not know how to tell our stories, and we have to fight like hell to keep telling our stories the way that they're supposed to be. It's authentic and it's genuine.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Absolutely. One of the things, this is Sherelle Diamond Hogan's. I'm listening to the lady speak, and I'm just thinking about our film. Our film is a teaching film. It's more about our social issues and traumas, and I think Rebecca's also is very specific about our target audience. So I was very specific about who I wrote, directed, and produced the movie myself. So it was more of the passion part was on point because I couldn't. One of the cinematographers was telling me, "Oh, you have to do it like this, you have to do it like that," and they were missing the point of the reason why we had to shoot this, and just even the props. and the props being very evident in the movie, or why a certain line had to be the way it was, because it all reconnected. So our film was called A Family Affair, and it sort of was like I forgot the movie, but it's just telling, how we followed 4 families throughout the day and how all their lives interacted and how it just escalated to a big thing. But it was a day in the life of 4 families, and the stuff that we lived with, being a teacher, a nurse, a minister, advocate, and
sorry, I thought I lost you. Yeah.
Okay. So as a nurse, I'm also a professor. I'm a nurse, and I do advocacy in the community with domestic violence, sexual assault, mental health, suicide, and just being a writer, author. Very specific, so that it couldn't be stereotypal. This only happens to African Americans. Oh, it's because she's Latina. Oh, it's because Asian, and social issues happen to everyone.
Exactly.
So we level the playing field, and anybody and everybody can relate. So part of my issue was marketing this, because I'm very adamant about trauma and triggering people. So I had an exposed in bigger markets. We use it as teaching tool in universities, schools, and and so we're working on the back piece, because you want to be very careful about putting things out there about domestic violence and sexual assault and mental health, and having people connect, but leaving them there, re-exposed, re-triggered in that. And it was like, oh, it was a good movie. Oh, that's a good story. No, that's somebody's life.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
real life.
Real story.
And then do our due diligence and follow up. So we had the hotline numbers and all hour long, and we literally considered.
Rebecca,
we talked about what we saw.
Is that Rebecca or Chanel? Your phone's going in and out.
Yeah, it's going in and out.
Going in and out.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go to a different part of it.
I just wanted to, I'm sorry, was
Can I ask
yeah.
This is Rebecca. I haven't.
Sure.
I've been listening to everybody, and so I got dropped off the call for a quick second, so I'm not sure what the question was that was asked, but I'm going to go off of what Sherelle was just talking about, because in terms of marketing, my current project that I'm working on, and Sherelle's right, all my work deals with women's issues, modern women, and some of the things to deal with. But my current project is even more difficult. I'm finding more difficult to market and to garner kind of support for, because I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force. I served 6 years.
Well, thank you.
Well,
thank you for your service. Yes.
Thank you.
And I experienced, firsthand, and also being to many of the very serious issues that happen to women in the military. And one of the big things that our current project is called The War at Home, and it's a TV series that I'm pitching, that I'm working on and raising funds to film the first half of the web series. This is the story of an Army sergeant. I don't market that she's a black female Army sergeant, but she's a black female Army sergeant. And what happens when she returns home from the front lines? Because now that women can serve on the front lines, there is not research to show the impact this is having on the psyche and the psychological well-being and the mental health of women, whether it's women of color, white women, Hispanic women, whatever, women in general. And so we have a very serious issue going on in the veteran community and active duty community, and that is homelessness, poverty, PTSD, and the effects of military sexual trauma, rape in the military.
Yeah.
So my show deals with this character who has witnessed an assault, who's been a victim of certain things, who's coming home to a husband who has abandoned their children and is divorcing her. And my story is based off of the stories of 2 daggone women that I know personally, who served and are still serving. And some of my own experience. So I've had producers tell me, oh, well, that doesn't really happen.
Oh, my God.
And one producer told me this, and he was retired military. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Out of touch. Out of touch.
Right? So we're the script won 2 awards recently from a film festival. Just the script itself.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But it's hard to market a product that people they don't want to talk about the issue.
Exactly.
And most of
Exactly.
my work, most of my work focuses on that. But I don't quit. I get my stuff done someday.
Good for you.
I don't quit traveling. I don't quit. That's not my story, so it doesn't matter because that's a bunch of crap. But it is definitely a challenge to put up a work that is not pretty, that's not sexy, but that is so very true, but also has, can also be humorous, because you need humor to get through some of the other things in life. But you, as a woman filmmaker, and I've had to direct my own stuff, which I don't like to do, but I've had to direct, I've had to produce, I'm writing, I'm putting out there, and it's an absolute challenge to do that, but there is such a reward when you get it done in spite of.
It is, very much so.
Absolutely.
As an artist, I encourage young women to continue to,
It's background noise.
Yeah, let me cut you off for a second. I'm sorry. Is someone cooking or something? Because I hear pans going, water.
Something.
Yeah.
Well, what I just wanted to say that addressed everybody is, that the thing is, you have to trust the was it Rebecca, the one with the military story, Rebecca? Yeah, Rebecca and Chanel and Tiffany and everybody, that's the idea too, that you're telling your story from your perspective, and whether you're Latino or black or Asian, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, somebody's going to see that, and they have nothing to do with the color of your skin, and they have nothing to do with your gender, and they're still going to somehow be affected and connect.
Exactly.
So, at the end of the day, it's not a story, about a black military vet, blah, blah, blah. It's the story of this military person who happens to have gone through all this stuff, who happens to be black. You know what I mean? So it's not, but that's why I think Rebecca and everybody really trust in the fact that your story is going to basically interest everybody.
Yeah. And that's the thing also.
Just trust it. Trust that if you got a great crew and you have a talented post-production team too that can protect the film and make it look professional and make it the best it can be, that people will respect the story that you're trying to tell, and they will emotionally connect with it. Even people that have nothing to. I had people with Casanova was a woman. It's LGBT. They were like, Jezebel, I didn't even see it at one point. He was this straight white guy, and he was like, I didn't even see it as like a gay movie at one point. It was a romantic comedy. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
If he just saw that movie as a romantic comedy and didn't see all the rest of the social issues that I was addressing in the Latino aspect, and he didn't see any of that, I'm like, you know what? I did my job.
Yeah. And also, I think that being exposed to different types of stories like this, it's like watching a documentary in many ways. It opens you up to a world you may not be familiar with. And that's why it's important to have these type of roles. Yeah. But let's switch gears real quick. So we all know that the Me Too movement swept through the entertainment industry last year. I mean, it's been going on for a while, but I think last year is when we really, this year is when we really started seeing the effects of it. I asked the gentleman this about their perspective on how the Me Too movement has impacted the major and indie, realm. What are your thoughts on that?
Thoughts on the Me Too movement?
Yeah, and how it's impacted the film industry.
Wow, that's a tough question.
I think the level that it is. Go ahead.
Excuse me.
Oh, this is Sherelle Diamond Hogan. You're fine. Me being an advocate of those traumas, I think it gave a voice to an epidemic that has been going on, not just in the film industry, but it gave a platform and a voice for people to speak about it openly.
Right. Yeah.
Do I think it's really made a difference where money's being affected? Not as much. However, it is being talked about. It is, just giving a voice to men and women who have been affected to be able to, just start having a voice. Because I still think it's still going on some level. It's not going to change just because someone said something to that, to the level where somebody's pockets are really being affected. People are still making money. People are still out there who have done this and are making money. They're not in jail. They may, their career may have been, put a little black spot on it, but they're still, I don't think the first person who was talked about it is even in jail yet. So there's still some clout there. you know, and for me as an advocate, it's just a voice right now. It's a platform that's giving people strength in and out of the film industry, the movie industry, to be able to speak up or have some peace that they know that it didn't just happen to them. But I'm glad that it is being talked about, and it's starting in the film industry, which is it's just amazing. But I don't think it's made a major difference so much. People are, you know, in the country that we live in, certain things are given a pass to whatever you say about anything. So, you know, entitlement, whether it's because of race or it's because of gender, it's still there. And it's going to take a while to really chisel that and really make a big impact. But I'm glad the spotlight was put on it. So it starts the conversation.
Well, I think the spotlight is good in the sense that I do feel that there is some change. I don't think it's that drastic, but first of all, it takes time. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, you know how much time, you know, thousands of years women have been, you know, subjugated and oppressed. But the idea is that because the spotlight's on it, I do feel that the younger generation and the men that are put in positions of power that are younger, they are going to grow up seeing all this stuff. So I think they're going to think twice, because I'm actually feeling it. You know, I'm in my 40s, and I'm actually feeling the younger guys. They're treating me completely different than the older men. You know what I mean? It's just a whole thing that I'm feeling, and that was never the case. Now, the thing, that's a generalization. You know, that's just a big generalization. But what I'm still feeling, not so much. Like, you know, there's a power play, and there's a power position that, you know, men, like executive producers who are male, and they use their position to sexually exploit women. You know, that probably is still happening, and, you know, it's probably going to continue to happen. But now I think, you know, they might think twice. Listen, I can't do this because, you know, look what happened to Harvey Weinstein. You know what I mean? Right. I can't do this because look what happened to Bill Cosby. I mean, that was a different era. Those guys are in their 60s. You know what I mean? So this is different. I think the new generation is really growing up with different visuals and different hashtags and different taglines. And I'm optimistic. You know, The only thing that I think hasn't changed is the level of respect. Not so much like using, you know, trying to sexually assault women and accosting women. The level of respect that women still don't get. That hasn't changed.
For their work?
I mean, the level of respect. Like, I directed this thing in the summer. I directed these series of international corporate videos. And, like, you know, it's a constant thing, and I'm sure it happens with people of color and darker skin, and it's just, you know, like, I had to constantly be, and then, you know, I'm sharing this with you guys, and everybody's going to hear this, but I constantly be proving myself, you know, this is the shot I want, this is it, well, and then everything was a debate, everything was an argument. Let me tell you, if I was male and had a penis, there would be no debate, there would be no argument, okay? It's constantly trying to prove myself, and they were young. You know, and I was like, oh, God. And my producer was in her 50s, and she goes, welcome to my world, Jezebel. This is like, you know, I've directed things before, but again, they weren't all male, and they weren't all young, and they weren't, you know, there is a level of sexism, not the kind to, you know, that deals with sexual harassment, but the kind that they don't respect you. You're not equal to them. Right. So, you know, that I do feel, and that hasn't changed.
Okay.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what, girls? Just fight it. Just the hell with it.
I think that's one of the positives of doing the indie film is to be able to be empowered to say that, like writing, producing, directing it. I appreciate your input, but the final decision lies with me, and we have to have that understanding. And then went forth, and because in my head, I know this thing from beginning to end. You are seeing in pieces, and you're not, you know, you don't get it. But once the movie was out, they was like, I see why that happened. You have to be so passionate and put your foot down. These are my non-negotiables. I'm willing to listen to some things that may enhance what I need, but we shot our movie in 5 days. We shot 5 days, and we shot this film in 1 year. I wrote it, and I put it out in January. It's a concept. We started shooting in February. I had to release our first person who was helping us shooting it because our movie's about trauma, and he told me, oh, by the way, I'm a registered sex offender.
Oh,
What?
wow.
So I had to deal with all that and start all over again. Heart crushed, no money, everything. And then he deleted purposely all of our shots from 3 different cameras. He deleted everything. So it's very passionate. But again, even with him being in the wrong, it was that chauvinistic, sexism type thing. And I was adamant about starting over again. And we shot it in 5 days. And the movie is phenomenal. But I'm just really excited about it. But just, you know, you just got to stand your ground.
That's
and
true.
the thing about, you know, just being able to own it and saying, okay, whether it's your money or your craft, I'm not negotiating the vision of this because I know the impact I needed to make.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need it to be a feel-good movie that, you know, that falls into the template, oh, you got to make them laugh 3 times, oh, we need this. When you have your vision to really go forth, you got to fight everybody and, you know, not negotiate just to get it done because you're going to get a project that's done, but it's not true to what your original vision was. And you're going to be highly upset that you wavered, you negotiated. And no, not at all.
Can I just piggyback off of what Chanel just said real quick?
Sherelle.
Can I just piggyback off of that? The one thing that I think is so important in what I've done with my project, I have been Mama Bear. And nothing gets done, nothing gets put out there until I say so because I'm so protective of it because I've been done dirty, like, you know, in regards to what she just said, like people will do you dirty. And I went through it and I learned who was there for me and who wasn't during this process. I learned that. And those people who acted like they were and they weren't, they ain't never got to worry about me again. My thing is, if I ask you and you say you're going to help, if I feel like you're hindering me, that's a problem. And I felt sabotage and I felt hindrance during this process, but I fought through it. And to piggyback off of what somebody else said, it's always a fight for us because it can never just be my film is about, you know, a detective, but I gotta be the black female detective. I just can't be the detective. No, I'm a detective. That's what I am. I'm not the black female. I'm a detective. That's what I am, and that's what you need to acknowledge me as. And that's what we as women, we have to fight for that. Just like somebody said, I gotta fight because I'm telling you that I'm a high-ranking officer in the Army. That's what I am. Why do I have to tell you I'm a woman? You see I'm a woman. You see that already.
I mean, it's so true. I just feel like, you know, going back to the Me Too and men. I'm sorry. Yes, of course.
My background, I'm a 20 years English teacher. I've been teaching English literature and composition for 20 years. And I've learned to say, with my military background and this being in the classroom, and particularly in light of this Me Too movement, who's the expert in the room? I am.
Yeah.
I don't tell you how to do your craft. You don't tell me how to do my craft. We did a film 2-3 years ago called Black Wall Street, The Money, the Music, the People, and that film was based off of my best-selling novel, Murder on 2nd Street, The Jackson Ward Murders. We had our film premiere. We showcased it to the community. We had 300-plus people in the room, and this one lone black man stood up in the back in front of all these people and asked me how come I didn't tell the story of XYZ. Jackson Ward is an historic black neighborhood here in Richmond, Virginia, and it was one of the Black Wall Streets in America in the early 20th century. So my story took place during that period. And he had the audacity to stand, the first person to raise his hand and ask questions once we showed the film. And so I too talked about Maggie L. Walker and blah, 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 but why did you talk about this such and such and such? Now, everybody who knows me knows what it's not going to do is tell me what I need to do.
Right.
Honest to the man. You can see my whole cast and crew just that. I have to say to the man, I've had to say this to a lot of people, and I want to encourage you to say this to me too. Since you know that story, you will tell that story.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know, but you know, the idea is, why do we have to do that? I mean, it's like.
As a woman, you have to, unfortunately. That's
I know, but it's so all the time, you know, like you're constantly combating, you know, that that male-dominating presence that wants to dominate, that can't handle a female boss. You know, no offense to the amazing men that are out there, and there's plenty of them. I'm working with one of them now. But it's just that thing that so many men can't handle a female boss. They just can't. So, you know, you're either a bitch because you're telling them that you're the expert, so shut up. And then, you know, but if it was a guy, he wouldn't be a bitch. He'd be just doing his job, right?
Yeah.
He's brilliant. He's Woody Allen part of the fun. You know?
All right.
But women have to fight extra hard.
Yeah, it's a constant battle.
Well, I think conversations like this will, especially for men, help change the way they think when they see, because sometimes men just do things and don't realize how it's affecting, or people do things don't realize how it's affecting others. But conversations like this will hopefully, you know, bring a light to that. But we got to get ready to wrap. But before we do, I want to go through each person on our panel. Thank you so much for your perspective and conversation. It was very dynamic. But I want you to answer this question for me. Why do you make films? Okay? So we'll start with you, Tiffany Yancey. And after you answer the question, tell us where we can keep up with you on social media. And if you want to shout out a project you're working on or something like that. So go ahead, Tiffany.
Oh, okay. I make films because it's my purpose and my passion. I just believe this is just something that's just in me that I have to do it. You know what I mean? I just can't go through this, be on this planet and not have the stories and the ideas in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to get this done. I have to do it. You know what I mean? It's like when you have that feeling and that burning desire, you just have to get it done any way, you know, that you make it happen. And like I said, to go back, like it's on the Me Too movement, me being in charge of that vision, that is why I decided, like, I'm going to start my own production company. I'm going to write it, produce. I'm going to make this vision come to life any way I can, and I'm not going to let anybody stop me from making it happen. So, you know, to me, it's just telling our stories, and I like to tell stories because I'm a really spooky person in real life. Y'all know me. And but I like to tell things from a comedic perspective with a message to it. And it's just fun. I love it. I really just love it. I mean, you on it's like it's nothing, you know what I mean? It's just the best thing in the world. So when you have something that gives you that much joy, you have to do it. You know what I mean? It's not you to be miserable. So that's why I'm a creator, I'm a filmmaker, and I pursue this wholeheartedly. Right now, my film, Love 'Em or Leave 'Em, is on YouTube. So you guys can go check it out. And you can follow me on Instagram at @ATYancey. And you can also follow my The Introvert Life, which is my new web series, the IG page. You can follow that currently. I'll be working on the pilot coming up really soon. So it's at The Introvert Life on Instagram. And also www.tiffanyyancey.com. And, I have some things in the works. I can't really speak on it right now, but it's coming.
All right.
So stay tuned.
Well, we definitely will. All right, Linnea Love, why do you make films?
Yes. Because it's my destiny, and I have a purpose, and it's my heartbeat. Filmmaking and creating content and being a storyteller is, I feel, the ultimate high, because we get to shape and narrate things in perspectives that we were never really able to see them in. And that's something that I look forward to because it's needed. It's needed. It's too much ratchetness going on, and people need to understand that we are more than ratchetness. We are more than blowed up butts and boobs and fake everything. We really are authentic. We really are genuine, and we really are magic. And people need to know that, and they need to see that. And they need to see that just because we are strong doesn't mean that we are bitches or we are upset or we are who we are. So that is why, I love making film.
Okay.
Right now, my major project is my feature film, Providence. Like I said, I executive produce, I star in it, and we are in post-production with Providence. Providence is on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, our short Mercy is on Amazon. The Slot is coming out. The Sessions is coming out. Tiffany already said Love 'Em or Leave 'Em is on YouTube. Last of Lost is also on Amazon Prime. We have a lot going on. We just want to keep creating content and putting it out there so people know. And you can also follow me, Linnea Love, LYNIALOVE, all over social media. That's how you brand yourself. And I'm out.
All right. Isabel Montello.
Jezebel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like the queen, baby. Like
Jezebel.
the queen.
Jezebel Montello. I apologize for that. Okay.
No, that's okay. Well, I started off as an actor at 13. I mean, I'm still an actor, but at 13 years old, I was a professional actor. I did commercials. I did theater. I studied theater at UCLA, and so I did a lot of professional theater in New York and off-Broadway. And then I hit my mid-30s to late 30s, and jobs started to dwindle because middle-aged women, they can't act anymore. I don't know why,
right.
But supposedly they can't act anymore.
Right.
So then, I always wrote comedy. I wrote sketches. I did improv. So, most of my friends and people who believed in me, even directors and other writers, said, Jez, why don't you just write something. So I did it, and I wrote my first feature, and I was pretty much introduced to myself as a writer.
Okay.
Because, I never considered myself a writer. And now I am. I actually get paid to write, so it's really crazy.
That's awesome.
And so my first feature, Casanova, was a woman. You could see that on Amazon Prime, and it's an LGBT, Latino, female-driven romantic comedy. So we kind of fill all those niches. And then after that, I started getting that bug for writing. Like, I loved writing. I loved filmmaking. And, I haven't stopped. And so the film got sold, and I've been working on a lot of different things. You can go to Acadabi, meaning Spanish, like it denotes like impact, because we want to make an impact. So that's FUACATA, FUACATAFilms.com. We're working on, I do mainly comedy, but I'm doing a Cuban docuseries.
Oh, nice.
And I'm very excited because next year the pilot's going to premiere on PBS.
Oh, wow.
It's called Re-Evolution. You'll see it on our site, Re-Evolution, The Cuban Dream. And then you'll see all the other shorts we've worked on there. You can actually rent them right on my site. And then, like I said, Monday we go into day one of production of Death of a Fool. So we're really excited, and I leave on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So it's a nicely packed schedule. But
nice.
I love it. I live and breathe it. I'm an artist, and every day, no matter what the medium, I have to create art in order to survive. Like eating, showering, going to the bathroom, and creating art. Those are all, not in that order though, but okay.
And what can we keep up on social media?
Oh, it's my name, Jezebel Montero, on everything, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook, Jezebel Montero.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Sherelle,
thank you.
Yes, Sherelle Hogan.
Yes.
So why do you make films?
Simply because I can.
Hey.
I was trying to figure that out.
That's awesome.
I was like, simply because I can. Again, I'm a nurse. Because of my life, I started journaling as part of therapy, and I became an author. That allowed me to be a speaker, an empowerment speaker, and an advocate. And I'm just always evolving. So as Jezebel said, I'm learning. I'm identifying myself in the work that I do. But when it came time to, again, see the things that I've been through addressed in multiple areas, I didn't see this being talked about. And because I was born a creative, and I have, just this creativity all through me, whatever I put my hands to, I wrote it, and it is amazing. And so we're expanding on that. But to be able to impact and educate and empower and equip people with resources in any creative way that I can, that's what I decide to do. And to be able to put projects of substance out there in a cesspool of drama, and everything's happy at the end of an hour or 2 hours. People's lives aren't like that. So to be able to give a film, to be in that, to be able to have this as an option, and the thousands of films that are out there, millions or whatever that are out there, to be able to put your passion as an option.
That's a great point.
What I'm putting out there, and whether it's on Hollywood big screens, around the world big screens, anywhere, I know that whoever sees it will be impacted by it. So whether my name is in big lights or little lights, it's out there as an option for someone. I love teaching, and this is just a creative way of educating people. And I'm all about movies of substance, because there's people, I just seen a couple of movies that had big names in it, and I was highly disappointed because the level of their acting was not reflected in that movie.
Okay.
So I'm like, the big names, that was the draw. But when I sit down and pay my money, I want the substance. I want to be able to see that.
Yep.
So big names may bring the money, but that you can still say that movie was trash. But it had a lot of big actors in it. But I want to be able to create something of substance and it not be watered down or just go, you know how we say those B-rated movies go straight to the DVD.
Exactly.
And you know why it didn't go to. I want something of substance, and because I can and it's in me, I'm grateful to have that opportunity to put my world-changing capabilities out now in film, and
Awesome.
someone
Art with
be
a
impacted by
conscience,
that.
right?
Awesome.
It's
I'm
art with
sorry?
a conscience.
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram as Radical Diamond, Radical with a K. I'm on Facebook as Sherelle Diamond Hogans. And then my website is SherelleDiamondHogans.com. On YouTube, we have a channel with Radical Creations, both with K's. And we're just, we're starting to do the branding and everything. But I want to create the content for me. Because you can brand and market trash. I want to make sure my foundation is strong. And then I'm learning from these ladies. I took some notes to be able to brand.
That's awesome.
I'm always I soak up. I'm always a learner. So, but I want to be able to brand substance and not trash. And then when I put it out there, I want people to be like, you know what, that's dope, and I get it. So I just want to say thank you all, ladies. It's good to be, even on the call with you all. Just really appreciate you. We'll definitely be checking out and supporting all of your work.
Yeah, me too. Thank you, ladies.
Same here.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Rebecca Pierce. Why do you make movies?
Well, I actually came into filmmaking from a totally different route. I'm a playwright and a novelist, and I was putting up my own shows. And a young cinematographer approached me about developing one of my short plays into a short film. And I snubbed my nose about him at first. I was like, no, I'm theater. I don't do film. And then I went home and God had a conversation with me. I don't know what you call him, but I call him God. And God said, I didn't give you the gift to only put it in one area.
Exactly.
It's more than just a playwright. And I had to go back to that young man and apologize and say, let's do it. And so I've learned that storytelling, that's my gift. That's my creation. But it comes in many different facets.
Exactly.
So I don't just film. I am across the board writer, and for me, it's important for every writer to at least try their hand in different genres, because I think that makes you a stronger writer. It gives you different angles to tell a story, and it gives you different audiences to meet. So I look at filmmaking as a continuation of my gift.
Yeah.
I'm a storyteller, and Sherelle knows, she knows me very well. I don't put out anything that does not have to do with some method of empowering people, and I don't do the pretty happy endings either, because that's not life.
Yeah.
I tell stories about real situations. I try to use a lot of humor in some of the things, but my stories are about the human experience and the human existence. So when I put up a film, I'm putting up something that I'm hoping will empower and educate and inspire audiences. I'm putting up something that I'm hoping will put something in them. And so it's important for me to be consistent also in my brand and what I put out. I'm all over social media. Rebecca, K-A-H, Rebecca with a K-A-H-L Pierce. You see my stuff everywhere. Because whether I'm, giving a presentation, speaking or teaching, or putting out a book or putting out a film or helping my clients get their stuff ready for publication, I try to put out work that is legitimately well crafted and put together, because I study my craft.
Yeah.
So when I put out a film, I'm a nervous wreck, but I put it out there because it's a story that needs to be told. So I have a YouTube channel we just recently put out some of our work out on RLP Productions, my initials, Rebecca Lynn Pierce. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, on Instagram, I'm editor at 25. In fact, I'm doing something really interesting on Twitter that I hope, on Instagram, that I hope you guys will check out. I've noticed that poets put up a poem every day, and they get all this exposure and kudos for their poems. And I started thinking, well, you know what? The playwright has to move into the 21st century. The playwright needs to be more aggressive and tenacious. So I created a thing called A Page a Day. And I put up a page a day of my short plays. I have a collection of 6 short plays that are available on Amazon, of course, along with my novels. And I put up a page a day of each of these plays. And so we posted up a new play yesterday called Coffee Break, a love story, which we developed into a short film several years ago, which you can check out on YouTube as well. And what I found is that people are actually, they're gravitating, they're interested in these stories. And these plays that I'm putting up, these short plays, several of them have been developed into short films. And as a play or as a film, the story is what moves people. So I don't like to hear that people don't read. I think Instagram is proving that wrong because people are reading these pages.
That's awesome.
Pages a day. So if you go on Instagram and look up Editor 25, that is me. I have the new pieces up. But I'm with all the other ladies. I was created to tell stories.
Yeah.
That's my job. And whether I'm teaching in the classroom and breaking down someone else's story, it's my job to show you that life is portrayed in its beauty and its ugliness through either the lens, the page, or the stage, or the canvas.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Ladies, I want to thank you all so much for sharing your knowledge. I think we all learned something. I'm not even a filmmaker, but I learned something. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I wish you all nothing but continued success in all that you do. And continue to tell your stories.
Thank you so much, Steven. I had a great time.
Awesome.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
All right, listen, we'll be right back after this.
Music machine, lyrics.
This that thing right here, K.
Yeah, boy.
Word. Look.
Do you think?
Look. The product of housing tenements. Try blending with the innocent. Yeah. It's to the moon like we chasing stars. Drinks in the air, we about to raise the bar. High Valerian can speak it, then can't eat with us. Dwayne Martin, these is just some seat fillers. Teach, level up there, see the growth. Cryptocurrency, bitcoins to who need the most. Look. Was quick to want squeeze the toast. These days, got my bread till I see a loaf. Greedy, couple plates, we gon' eat the most. Point game, if we trail, at least we keep it close. Sipping toast, sipping in moderation. It was written in a proclamation. My obligation to the fairest the will. Give food for thought till they cherish the meal. Swerve it and pill. Chicks, notice the squad. I ain't talking foreign exchange when I study abroad. Know the facade. Got us lunching up an Olive Garden. Talking about portfolios and profit margins. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimum. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimum. Deep slumber, sleep till we see numbers. In the vision, seen it like Steve Wonder. Each summer hit a monetary apex. Lifestyle's much more than having safe sex. Strategic talk, dudes who don't pay chess. That's starving, only getting a taste test. Hood the sorest, finish wines imported. Learn the game from ballers that stay scoreless. Rap we paint portraits. Spitting riddles like we socially awkward. Pyrex jaws to the corporate office. Catapulted movements was flawless. We about to take a sabbatical. Got the bread, the crown's just collateral. We patrolling different avenues. Life's a bitch, used to wanna marry you. Look, it's kinda hard to think practical. Figure simple to new rational. Lack of aptitude, now me down to Georgia Shore. Authoritative, if you spill it, then it's word be law. Coded language, shit you never heard before. Verbal onslaught, like, what do you wanna hurt me for? Dig, I'm a lyrical enthusiast. Mumble rap, me these niggas with a crucifix. We used to listen with exuberance. Think they bars coming from a lack of tutelage. Throwing jabs like a pugilist. Not the best, I suggest you go review your list. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the minimum. We done finally reached the pinnacle. Without compromising the principles. Life good, overseas, different interviews. Back then, used to do it for the family.
We're finally here.
Talk to him, K.
We're finally here. Yeah.
Boy, lyrics, man. K back the music machine.
We're finally here. Oh, wow.
Feeling this.
We're finally here.
Oh, yeah.
Feels so good. Feels so good.
It's KJ on the beat.
We're all alone. Nobody knows. It's a little secret. That's how we should keep it. Baby, we've been creeping on the low.
It's KJ on the beat.
No time to waste. It's getting late. Can't jump off the deep end. Not supposed to be here, but it feels so good. Feels so good. Baby, love me like that. I'll touch you right there. Kiss me on my neck. The love we make is real, and it feels so good. Put my love on top, give you what you need. When we make love, get it so deep, 'cause it feels so good. Feels good. Feels so good. Feels good. Oh, so wrong. But the feeling strong. Every time I see you, I think about what we do. I can't help but think about it all the time.
It's KJ on the beat.
Close the door. Close the door. Give me some more. Give me some more. You have my mind going every time you're doing your thing. And it feels when you love me like that. Touch you right there. Kiss me on my neck. The love we make is real, and it feels so good. Feels so good.
It's KJ on the beat.
Put my love on top. Give you what you need. When we make love, get inside me deep, 'cause it feels so good. Feels good, baby. Feels so good. Feels good, baby. On top of me. Loving how you on top of me. Loving how you on top of me. Loving how you on top of me. When you love me like that, I touch you right there. Kiss me on my neck. The love we make is real, and it feels so good. Feels so good.
It's KJ on the beat.
Put my love on top, give you what you need. When we make love, get inside me deep, 'cause it feels so good. Feels good, baby. Feels so good. Feels good.
It's KJ on the beat.
This is Janera, and you're listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going?
It's going well, Stephen. How are you?
Cannot complain. I'll let you and Chike take it away with movie reviews.
Sure thing. So I'll kick us off. I saw the movie that came out a couple weeks ago, actually, for the holiday, Fantastic Beasts
The Crimes of Grindelwald. And I'm not sure if you dug deep into this or if you actually had a chance to see it, but for everyone who's unfamiliar, this is the second installment of the Fantastic Beasts series, which is kind of a prequel storyline to the Harry Potter book and film franchise. And in the first movie, you follow Newt Scamander, who's writing a book, and he goes to the United States, and through a sequence of events, he helps kind of save what's going on there. And he captures this man named Grindelwald, who is a villain. And this movie starts with Grindelwald escaping en route to the UK to answer for his crimes. And we go back into the story of Newt Scamander helping stop this man, who is played by Johnny Depp. And he meets Dumbledore, he interacts with Dumbledore along the way, and you kind of get a little bit of taste of Hogwarts, some of Dumbledore as a young person, and more of the Harry Potter world, as they are setting this up to be a second movie in a 5-part series. So for me, this movie was a little bit all over the place. I do love the Harry Potter series. I do love kind of that world that J.K. Rowling's built. But this seemed like a lot of rushed elements, and it's almost like setting up for the next movie. You know, Grindelwald, as you probably will realize as time goes on, doesn't really, answer for any crimes in this movie, but this is setting up everything that's going to happen in the next few books and the movies in the series. So overall, it's fun, but I left wanting a little more. The editing was a little choppy. We had many characters that were introduced that you didn't really care about, or they kind of threw to the wayside. So it was a bit of a mess, but great performances from a lot of the cast members, and definitely, if you're a Harry Potter universe fan, check it out.
Do you think that they'll win some awards like the first one?
Maybe for like costume design or animation, or kind of that type of award. But besides that, no. This one, again, I think we're setting up for some better ones down the line. At least I hope so. I don't think. I mean, it'll be there, but it's not going to make too many waves in the award season.
Okay. My choice was a movie called The Favorite. It's an acclaimed movie. It won a couple of awards in the independent circuit. It takes place in the early 18th century England, while England is at war with France, and we have an ailing Queen Anne who has a lady in her court. Her name is Lady Sarah, and in walks Emma Stone, whose character is named Abigail, as a servant. Lady Sarah takes her in and teaches her etiquette and makes her a part of the Queen's court like herself, and teaches her the ways of being a lady. And she wasn't expecting that the Queen would fall, in girl love with the servant. So there's a bit of female jealousy, on friendships, which females do sometimes, and it's very nicely played out in this movie between the three ladies. I thought it was excellent, at times really funny, and we may see this movie at the Oscars. It was that good. If you can tolerate 18th century theme, which I do, I adore that era, especially when it comes to film, because it's uniquely done. I think that Emma Stone is really one of the gifted actresses in Hollywood, and she really shined through in this film. Definitely check it out. It's one of those rainy day, go to the theater and check it out type of movies. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I do get into films of this nature, and it blew me away. I really was pleased by it, so I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh, nice. I'll definitely want to check it out.
What's coming in down the line for you?
So, nothing until I guess the summer really kicks in. This is kind of this weekend will be kind of a slow release. They're releasing like Schindler's List and Deadpool 2. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is an animated film that looked really fun.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said it's one of the best Spider-Man movies out there. So that's high on the list. And then as we dig deeper into December, I do want to see the Holmes and Watson. This is with Will Ferrell and John Reilly, and it's kind of a comedy version of the Sherlock Holmes story. So
Right.
I think they're a good duo, as we've seen in like Talladega Nights, so that'll be fun. And then that movie Vice with Kristen Bell playing Dick Cheney as the president.
That good.
One looks really good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the highlights. You know, and Chika, you might have a different opinion, but I finally saw. I don't usually go active looking at trailers, but I saw the Aquaman trailer, when I was watching Fantastic Beasts, and I didn't think it looked any good. But maybe I'm looking at it
No,
weird.
we're on the same page on that. We're on the same page.
Okay.
So here's the deal. I was going to talk about Aquaman, so here's the deal. So and I mentioned this last week or the last show that we did, Amazon Prime members have the option to seeing the movie a week ahead of time. So the earliest you can see it is December 15th. So I will be in the theaters on December 15th to see Aquaman. And I'm going on record, along with Adam, I'm not impressed by what I'm seeing. Actually, I'm a little disappointed. I'm just going to the movies so that I can see it and honestly rule on it. Because from what I see in the trailers, I'm like, so what? But we'll see.
Yeah, it just looks like the trailer looked bad. The dialogue sounded bad. It sounded like a dated movie from like the '90s. It's just like the whole setup. I don't know. I hope you're surprised and it comes out well, because I will say this time last year is when Sony did a early screening for Jumanji, and I didn't think that trailer looked good at all, and then the movie blew me away. So this might be a surprise again. We'll see.
Well, hopefully. I really want better for the WB, but I will say this about the WB and the DC Universe. Their app that they have for you to look at content on your mobile device is all of that. I'm getting into their series on there called Titans, which is basically the Teen Titans, but there's nothing teen about these Titans. It's really hardcore. It's really, really hardcore, and it's good. I mean, really good. Like, I think that if you watch all the episodes consecutively, it kind of plays out like a movie. It's really that good. So if you can get the app, I think it's like $8 a month. And DC, I think you need to send me a check for endorsing you. Check it out.
Right.
Well, that makes me brings me to another point. So Daredevil just got canceled. Speaking of TV shows, for Marvel, it looks like it's reeling in all the Netflix movies. So there's talks that Daredevil's canceled. They're going to cancel Jessica Jones and Punisher and all the Netflix Marvel movies. I don't know if you were a fan of them, but what were your thoughts on that?
So I want to exclude Marvel for a minute. It's just something that I'm starting to notice about Netflix, and because these aren't the only shows that are canceled. They don't play around when it comes to the budget of shows. I'm noticing that if the budget of the shows gets a little skewy or choppy or shaky, they axe the show. They do not play. If you're over budget, they definitely will cut you. And if you're not raking in the numbers, they will definitely cut you. On network TV, they play around with it for a minute. They'll try to help you out by moving you to a new day or a new time. But in the streaming world, there's no such thing. It's streaming. So you either sink or swim. With the Marvel stuff, I think that, and this is just me taking my guess at it, I'm thinking that they're costing too much to make, because this is a world that is not of this world, and it takes money to create that. And I think that they're spending a whole lot more money than they anticipated on spending to make things look good. So maybe
see them go.
I'm indifferent. To be honest, I'm indifferent. What they probably should have done, and they still can do, is take some of your sub-characters and do animated series. I believe that would take off and fly, especially the ones that people don't gravitate to that much, like maybe Gambit or maybe Rogue or maybe Storm.
Okay.
Just start off with some of those and create like little cartoons, little mini movies, and see how that goes. Just a suggestion.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't follow the Marvel the TV shows, but I know a lot of people were shocked that even Daredevil was kind of the standard, and so that was like the most popular.
And that was one of the better ones. Luke Cage had its moments, but it didn't like send me, clapping and running, and you've heard me talk about other shows that are on Netflix and I rave about them. Those shows, not so much.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what develops with that. And, of course, there's rumors that Netflix is kind of preemptively cutting them back because Disney's coming out with their streaming service. They might
are they?
just reboot them under the Marvel banner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Hulu and Netflix need to watch out. Disney's coming for you.
Yeah.
Disney said they're getting in on some of this money.
Exactly.
But I will tell you this. I will say this, and I'm not just saying this because, I am saying this because I love them. When it comes to operationally, how they're organized and how the features of a streaming system, I really love what Amazon Prime is doing. I really, really do. The fact that, of course, it's voice activated, that's a plus, but it's not necessary. But the fact that when I love the feature of selecting something and it gives you other options of what you might like because of things that you've chosen already. Because it gives me an opportunity to discover things that I may not have known about. So it's like smart TV. It gives you options based on your selections. I love that.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, as always, we thank you for letting us know what to spend our money on and what not to. And I hope you all have a great week. We'll talk again next Monday.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Right back after this.
Oh my God. Nothing
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's the First Lady Faith Evans, and you're listening to the Stephen Knight Show.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Janera, how's it going?
Great. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. How's the Christmas shopping and decorating, all that going on?
I only have we just moved, so I only have a Christmas tree up. I usually do like so much more like decorating around the house, but I just haven't had a chance to. So
with moving it all.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get everything together, but I do plan on putting up the rest of our decorations. I just haven't had a chance to because everything's all over the place.
Yeah, I understand that. I definitely do.
Yeah.
Well, I know with the holidays around the corner, there's a lot of great sales out there. There
are. And I wish I was able to talk to everybody last week because Cyber Monday was crazy.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you take it away.
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
So today is the last day to shop Carter's. They're still having their Cyber Monday deals. They did it all week, and today is the last day to shop there and save 55% on your purchase. Plus, you can get free shipping on everything. Gymboree is also having a sale today, and if you shop there now, you can get Christmas teas, which is my favorite, for just $5. If you shop at Children's Place, you can get doorbusters for just $1, so that's a great deal. And right now, they do something every day, and today they're doing like hats and gloves and scarves. Today's the last day to shop Express and get dresses for just $29.90, sweaters starting at just $19.90, tees for just $14.90, and tanks and camis for just $9.90. If you shop Saks Fifth Avenue off 5th, which is their outlet store, you can get $20 off your purchase of $100 or more. Today is that's a great deal. And they're also doing tons of other deals, so you may want to look into that. Today is the last day to shop the Limited and get sweaters for just $29.99. Plus, you can get 50% off of everything else. Today is the last day to shop Gap Factory and get up to 70% off of almost everything. Banana Republic is also having a sale, and if you shop there, you can get 40% off of your purchase. Plus, you can get an extra 10% off of all outerwear and winter accessories. And last but not least, today is the last day to shop Nine West and buy two, get 50% off of your purchase.
Nice.
So that's all you guys this evening.
Okay. They can find all that at budgetshopaholic.com, correct?
They surely can.
All right. Well, as always, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great week.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right.
You too.
Right back after this.
Doctor E.
It's been a long time coming out. I overcame all the drama now. I'm going strong on my bounce back. My setback got me on track. Now every day it's a new task. Face my fears covered up underneath the mask. I had to ease my mind from the crazy shit, adjusted for the perfect fit. Scars from my past, split surrounded with the counterfeit. All I need in this life is me. No stress, no pain, feel free. Look around, up and down, can't you see? All I need is me. Let me catch the grips, control my attitude, let me lock my lips. And when they pop the clips, I push the anchor down, then I rock the ship. Yo, I been smoking steady, tripping, get the sipping. Told them, listen, I ain't ready for the petty. When I dodge it, I stay ready. Fatal humble, keep it heavy, stay low key. Call me shady, I ain't with it. Tell them critics, I ain't with it. It was kinda hard for me to see. Dreaded pain turn to misery. Lack of love in the families. Jealousy from my enemies. I had to keep it going. Shoulder weight maxed out, keep it flowing. Then I rise above it. Bragging rights, longer nights, I put nothing for it. Chuck. All I need in this life is me. No stress, no pain, feel free. Look around, up and down, can't you see? All I need is me. All I need in this life is me.
need is, yo, ain't nobody out here living for me. Ain't nobody out here living for me. Nah, ain't nobody out here living for me. Ain't nobody out here living for me. Yo, ain't nobody out here living for me. Ain't nobody out here living for me. No, ain't nobody out here living for me. Ain't nobody out here living for me. This recovery. So now I'm headed to recovery. Way to recovery. I'm headed to recovery. Hey, so now, I'm headed to recovery. Gotta recover me. Now I'm headed to recovery. Me. Breathe. To see. All I need is me. All I need in this life is me. No stress, no pain, feel free. Look around, up and down, can't you see? All I need is me.
This is Miss Parker, and you're listening to the Stevie Knight Show.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Aaron Cosby, how's it going?
Stevie Wonder, what's up?
How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm a little exhausted. 3 final exams in 3 days, with 1 more to go tomorrow. But,
wow.
I'm
Life of a law
through.
student.
Yay. Pushing through though. Pushing through.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Most
How
definitely.
was your weekend?
It was good. It went by kind of. It wasn't like I didn't do a whole lot, but it was cool. It was chill, which is good to have that sometimes. Because this weekend coming up is gonna be crazy, so it's gonna be cool. How about you? Was it studying?
Just been books.
Yeah.
Studying, exams.
I feel you. Well, what's going on in the world of sports?
You tell me, man. Like, you're down in Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
And the Georgia Dome, oh gosh, I can't get the Georgia Dome, I'm sorry. Whew. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium, excuse me, has had some tough L's the past couple of days. Like, they, and it's been at the hands of the home team. Like, they can't win. Like, what's up? Like, what's going? Is it 28-3 again? Like, it's
crazy. The Falcons lost again to the Ravens, 26-16.
And the University of Georgia lost to
Yeah,
Alabama in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, yep.
After having a lead.
So where'd they go wrong?
They actually showed up. No. Georgia's a really good team. Like, I don't know, like because a couple of years ago they were in the national championship game against Alabama, which was played at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Right.
And they had a lead, and they lost the lead to Alabama. Like, it's something about, I don't know what it is when it comes to either these football teams that are based out of Georgia. They do not win a lead. Like, they don't like it. Like,
yeah,
we got each other. Oh yeah, okay. The game is over. We can. And you know how I am when it comes to the football teams.
Exactly.
In Georgia, I like to joke with them and everything, but I just think that they just be partying in their head. There is halftime. They're in the locker room, and they are just, I guess, getting ready to go to the club, or well, I don't know. Like, it's something happens. Like, they think that the football game is just one half.
Right.
They think that the halftime means that it's over.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize that there's a second half of
there's more to it, right?
To play.
There's more to it.
Like, you got to come back out, fellas.
Right.
Oh, it's the second half. Like, yeah. Oh, damn. Okay. And then they come back, and then
that's it.
You know, oh my goodness, and yeah.
Oh my goodness, you stupid.
So yeah.
Yeah, they lost. They lost.
What do you think it is, Stephen? What do you think it is? What's going on down there?
I don't know, but we have some angry people walking around here because everybody was looking forward to that game one Saturday, and then for the Falcons to lose yesterday, it's like can't catch a break.
Okay, let me just talk about that Falcons game.
Okay.
Boy, somebody needs to lose their job. Like, why is Julio Jones not getting the ball? Like, what is going on? Why is he's not? Is it Matt Ryan? Is he like something? Matt Ryan shows signs of playing great ball, but then he shows signs of really being a below average quarterback. Like, is it the offensive line? Is it the individual play at quarterback? Like something's up. It's weird. Is it the coaching? Like it's.
What do you think it is?
Team. Okay, some injuries. The Falcons have had to deal with injuries this season, but so do other teams.
Right, it happens.
You know
everywhere.
what I'm saying? Like I don't like that as an excuse. We have injuries. That's football. Football is a sport where a lot of your players are going to get injured.
Right.
While you have other guys that are supposed to step up. When those guys aren't stepping up, then to me that tells me that your team is not that good. They're just not good.
Yeah.
They're just not a good team. I think part of it is still with that 28-3. Yeah, I said it again. And I'll keep saying
Can't get over that, huh?
Until they prove me wrong. All right. 28-3. And I'm going to call Georgia, the Bulldogs, the same thing too now, 28-3, because it seems like it's some spread. It's spreading.
It's spreading.
And if Georgia Tech does it, it's the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Georgia Tech 28-3.
Yep.
And Georgia State 28-3. Now what? Yeah. So.
Crazy.
Morehouse, Clark, Alden, yeah.
Right.
23. Everybody getting it.
Everybody getting it.
Everybody. Until the Falcons prove me wrong, man. Like, and I don't even live in Atlanta anymore, and I'm still pissed off, man. Like,
right.
Because anyway. Okay. They're just not good, and the Ravens are actually good. Like, okay. Lamar Jackson, when I saw him playing in Atlanta yesterday, I saw glimpses of Michael Vick circa 2004
Wow.
in the Georgia Dome. Just if he does not get hurt, he can really be unstoppable. I mean, this kid has it. He is talented. I mean, he's very talented. Okay, let me just say this one other thing. The Ravens are on a 3-game winning streak. He's been their starting quarterback since Joe Flacco's been out on injury. Hear me out. Injury, right? Injury. And they're on a 3-game winning streak with their starting quarterback injured. So, like injury. Yeah, people. Anyway, it's called talent. Since Lamar Jackson's been starting, again, he's a rookie. They are on a 3-game winning streak. He is 3-0 as a starter in the National Football League as a rookie. There we go.
So you think he's going to be the next Vic?
I see it. I mean, I see it. I see glimpses. I mean, I see it. I see it. I don't want to get them too hyped, but I see. I saw it. I saw glimpses. Like if he can just stay healthy and maybe work on
injuries and whatnot,
just a little bit more, and don't turn the ball over because he has a tendency of fumbling the ball. when he's running.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if he can just kind of work on some of those things, I see it.
Okay.
It's possible. Absolutely. Pittsburgh lost. I don't know if you're a Steelers fan, but Pittsburgh had a lead, and they lost that lead. They did like a Falcons thing. They had a big lead, and they lost to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, 30-33.
Known as the San Diego Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so I'm excited. These playoffs are going to be epic for the NFL. Like it's new teams. They're young teams. They have fresh faces. Like this is going to be good. The Chargers, the Rams. I mean, think about this. Two teams in Los Angeles, two football teams in LA are likely going to be in the playoffs.
Wow.
For a city who 2 years ago didn't even have a football franchise.
Right, yep,
had not
exactly.
had a football franchise for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have two teams going in.
You know, they can be hype out there.
In the country, New York, they can't get one of their teams to make the playoffs.
Right, yeah.
I'm just saying. So it's good to be Cali.
Cali.
Yay.
Right.
Go Rams. Go Chargers. Basketball front, man. The Lakers, I told you that they were going to start playing ball.
Yeah.
They are slowly getting it together. They're slowly getting it together. Yes. I like it. I like it right now. They still have some things to kind of clean up here.
To work through
here and there, but it looks all right.
Okay.
It looks okay. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
So the four teams that are in the college football playoffs are Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma. So those are your four teams.
Okay.
Oklahoma's number 1, Clemson's number 2, Notre Dame's number 3, and Alabama's number 4. And Oklahoma's number 4. Excuse me. So yeah.
All right. Well, Aaron,
we'll see what happens.
As always, we thank you. Don't study. Well, study hard. I was say don't study too hard, but study hard. You got one more to go. And
thank you, brother.
Have a great week. Okay.
Same to you. Thank you.
All right. Right back after this.
We in this biatch, like we're all over our sweethearts. Self-discovery, lesson learned, we on our Alfred Hitchcock. East Coast hard, West Coast hard. Rest in peace to pop, poetic hip-hop. Round and round we go. Life cycle, tick-tock, it's me. Somewhat an anomaly, first degree of hip-hop hypocrisy. Never fit in what you motherfucking label me. As I sit back and watch, never interject. Money in the bank with the ill concept. Vision is clear, never gets complex. Chillin' on the scene like Peace Hotel. For the 1800 and vanilla coke. Sit back and chill, maybe even smoke. Summertime lounging, good to go. Chillin' at the beach, that's how we roll. I make it sexy, baby. Make it sexy. Make it super fly. I make it sexy, baby. Make it sexy. Make it fly high. I make it sexy, baby. Make it sexy. Make it super fly. Make it sexy, baby. Make it shake it. Just like sexy, baby. We be the scene stillers, way back Castillers. Hollywood hill real dealers, no filters. Lounging in the cut with the cold chillers. Twisted on the sun, propaganda for fun. Run, forest, run, dream builders. Fly establishment, clean with fresh kicks. Good eating, sunbathing, where the money went. Harlem bars, Harley stars, 2 twisted Uber cars. Stripper poles, diamond gold, church basket, top and hold. Private gyms, assaulting ribs, exclusive diamond fold. Friends, purple label, more stable. Life coach, now you're able. Cabotins, spas, tins, freaky hints. But yo, where the money, where to make it sexy, baby. Make it sexy. Make it super fly. Make it sexy, baby. Make it sexy. Make it fly high. I make it sexy, baby. Make it sexy. Make it super fly. I make it sexy, baby. Make it shake it. Just don't break it. Get that sexy.
Scene stillers, Hollywood heel dealers. Lounging in the cut with the big willers. Rocking clean whips. and fresh kicks. Holland bars, Holly stars, twisted Uber cars.
Car ride by with the booming system. Throwback vibe with a good detention. Lover who you are, don't be scared to mention. Chillin' with my beats, no ill pretension. Catch the waves, dancing days, Sundays, fun days, Fridays, payday, make money any day. Whatever you do, love it and be free. And remember, I'm making sexy, baby.
Make it sexy,
baby.
Make it super fly.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it fly high.
I'm making sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it shake it, just don't break it, get that sexy.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly. Make it sexy, make it fly high.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly. Make it shake it, just don't break it, get that sexy.
Make it sexy, baby.
The vulnerable one.
What's up, y'all? We are June's Diary, and you're listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Well, that's our show. I want to thank you, as always, for tuning in. I want to shout out all the panelists that were on tonight. We definitely appreciate your thoughts and your experiences. Also remind you that if you want to donate to the Stephen Knight Show Christmas Kindness giveaway, go to our website, thestephenknightshow.com. You can also order your t-shirts while you're there. We appreciate your support. Have a great week. God bless and good night.
Tonight, as long as on me, everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand.